Easy to do to work with the camera on me at work. I think that might have been it. Because I'm working with children and families, and I move about, and so they would always be part of the film.
No, I can understand that.
Yes.
Yeah, because that issue.
I did try.
Yeah.
Once.
No, like you say about the confidentiality, it's really vital. But what I noticed about the piece of Nessa, it just seemed to be focused on things that have really mattered to you.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're going to ask me what really matters to me, aren't you?
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, could you talk about that? Or?
What really matters to me?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I wish I'd thought about this in advance. Goodness me, where do I start? I'm going to duck the question a bit by saying how helpful it was doing the Living Theory Action Research project, because that helped to bring it all out, if you like, to help me to discover what really matters to me. Because the whole point really about being a human being, just living your life, is you often don't really know, because you just do things the way you always do instinctively. I didn't necessarily really know what really mattered to me. And so it was through that process that I discovered the bits of me that are just me, really, and obviously I live that way because they reflect my values for what? What are my... Yes.
I was reading it was a paper that was due to be read this week in our Centre for Socioculture and Activity Theory, and it's by this guy, I'm not sure I pronounce his name right, someone like Jan Balsiner, and he's coming as a visiting scholar, I think, to the university next month. But he was saying in this paper how difficult people find it to actually talk about their values. So he was recognising the importance of values in explaining what we do, but how difficult a lot of people just find talking about them. Yeah.
That's why I've always liked the way that you introduce it by saying, well, what's important to you? What gives you a buzz? What was something good that happened today, and why was it? Why did it go well? What's gone well for you this week? I mean, it's really good. It's probably like that because historically we've not thought about our values. It's a new idea, isn't it?
Well, it's always seemed to me, they are really important. So when you say, well, what do you care about? What matters to you? I suppose I've always been privileged when people talk to me about why they do what they do. So I feel, I'm getting really on the inside of who the person feels themselves to be. And it always comes back to that sense of what do they value, and have I understood it?
Yeah. Yes. The whole that's what I love about the living theory idea, is that actually what that says is that who you are and how you live your life is essentially you. And so although I'm sure most people feel that they're doing their best, unless you actually look at it, you don't know what it is that you're doing as your best. And for me, I really didn't know. I had no idea. I just knew I was very focused about wanting to work better with parents and children, but I didn't know why, except I'd identified some things I didn't like that were happening, which was, of course, the opposite of what I value, I suppose, but I didn't realise that at the time. So it was through the process I discovered that actually I have a really strong ethic of wanting equality, anti-elitism, that sort of stuff was really important to me, and I had no idea about. Well, it wasn't a conscious thing I thought about.
Yeah.
So it was a starting point, probably. Yeah, and from that, that would have been one of the first things I recognised, and came out. I realised that as a part of that, then we get just respect for people, just because you're human, you're worth something. And I needed to think about that, because it didn't come as what it is. I really had to work it out by noticing times when I remember once I was on a course, I can't remember what it was a study day I think, and we were asked the question, do you think you deserve respect? And I immediately said, and people had to say their standpoint, and I was amongst the few who said no, to which people must have thought I was a really unconfident person. But the reason I said no was because of my children's rights background. When I was had been strongly rehearsing this idea that parents shouldn't just expect children to respect them because of their being an authority figure, which is all part of the equality thing, really. That respect is something that's due to you because you are worthy of respect. But through that day, of course, I was really questioned about that. And I realised that the questioners were right, that just the fact that you're a human being, there's it's a different kind of respect, probably, that you are worthy. And that is part of it. That is really, really important to me now. I recognise it. Yes, of course. And so that's very much on my list.
Yeah, because I was just